All right, I've heard a couple of the stereotypes from the Nordic countries, which I believe is Denmark, Sweden, Finland, Norway. I don't think Estonia is considered like a Nordic country, is it? Or Iceland, maybe? Nonetheless, I know really, really nice people. Also, a little, you guys like your space, if I remember correctly, like on trains and in public areas. You guys really kind of keep a larger bubble than most other people do. What else do I know about them? I'm trying to think. There's so many things, but nonetheless, we're checking out a video from Kelly Louise Killjoy, normal things in the Nordic countries, but nowhere else. Hopefully I can learn something new. I am going to be coming to Norway pretty soon, and probably Sweden and Finland. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to hit all of them, but also congrats to Norway in the 2026 Olympics. Absolutely crushed it. You guys are just built different, especially in the winter sports. So, all right, I'm rambling. Smash the like button. Let's get into it.
The Nordic countries are full of habits which make perfect sense to me, as I am a Danish woman. However, the following statements can apply to pretty much all the Nordics, I'd say. So,
okay. Oh, we have a map here. Hold on.
Woman. However, the following statements can apply to pretty much all.
Okay, so Iceland is in it. I'm having trouble here knowing exactly. Is this like a territory of somewhere? I'm not too sure. I don't think what am I looking at here? This island. I don't even know what that is. All right, let's keep going.
The Nordics, I'd say. So these are things that are completely normal in the Nordics, but can be viewed as weird or even rude to other nationalities. Eating caviar from a tube is normal. It's not really like eating caviar every day is normal. It's more like the caviar in the tube is normal. Like, we have a lot of things in tubes, actually. You can get
caviar in a tube. I didn't even know that existed. There's probably like, what kind of fish is it that makes the caviar eggs? I always forget. I wonder if it's pretty abundant up in that area.
Like condiments and yeah, meats, pasty meats in tubes. That's okay. I think I can see why that would be weird to some, or even kind of gross. Danes eat.
It does seem a little weird. I'm going to be completely honest. It seems a little weird putting meat in a tube, but I don't know. To each their own. Maybe it's really good. I'm not gonna judge it and say that it's bad. But
cold liver pate on rye bread. Yeah, I'm wanting.
What?
That's okay. I think I can see why that would be weird to some, or even kind of gross. Danes eat cold liver pate on rye bread. Yeah, I'm warning you right now. Don't come for leverpostej on my channel. Not allowed. It may look kind of bad, but it tastes like heaven, especially like with roasted onions and like a little bit of bacon. And I've made this next one specific to Denmark as well, because I couldn't find out if the other Nordic countries did this. In Denmark, the person who has a birthday is expected to bring cake to school or to the workplace. And nobody brings anything.
We kind of do that. Like, if it's one of my kids' birthdays, we'll send them with like cupcakes to school sometimes. Or if they have like a game, like a sporting game, we might like bring a tray of usually cupcakes to the other kids. But as an adult, I've never seen that.
Anything for the birthday person. I can see why that does not make sense. And it's tricky nowadays because you're not even allowed to like bring cakes to school anymore, because a lot of schools have sugar policy and all that. But back when I was a kid, we had cake like every week. I swear I can't eat cinnamon cakes today because that was the easiest cake like to make in bulk. So I've had my fair share in my lifetime. And from the more foodie theme, we go into like daily life and childcare with this one, because in the Nordics, we leave our babies to sleep outside in the...
I have seen this. I don't think we've covered this at all on the channel. I have seen the babies sleeping outside. I don't remember which Nordic country it was. I think my wife showed me, and I was like, that is crazy. Way before I even started this channel.
Home, and if we go into a cafe or a store, like we just
supposed to be really good for them, right?
Outside. I don't know. I think that makes perfect sense. It's health related, and like people don't really steal babies here. At least it's not a normal thing to happen. To be fair, parents often have like baby alarms attached to the strollers, and they can see the kid through the windows of the stores or wherever they are. But it's such a normal thing to pass a lone stroller with a baby in it. Many Nordic people.
As somebody who was absolutely obsessed with Wim Hof, I can see how this would be like a positive for our bodies, right? You've seen, I'm sure you guys know who Wim Hof is. Sir Wim Hof, just absolute beast of a man. I learned all my breathing exercises from him, ice baths. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. The kids out there, and it's got to do something to their
people check their hallways through their peepholes before going outside to avoid their neighbors.
What?
Yeah. Yes, we do that. So many times. I have even closed the door when I've heard another door opening further up the staircase. I don't want to talk to people all the time. Like, I'm just trying to get rid of my trash. I don't need conversation during that time. It's often I will be in my pajamas. And even the neighbors know this here. They don't want to talk to me either. Neither of us wants to be forced to be the polite one and say hi first. This next one I did not realize was not allowed in a lot of other countries, but like our police are allowed to take blood samples from us if they suspect us of being intoxicated or high, even without possession. An example, they do it a lot to drivers they suspect to be under the influence. And it's not like they pull out.
Yeah, they don't just do the breathalyzer, they just go straight for the blood. I know that it's way more, it's like 99% accurate from the blood. And then the breathalyzers, I know they have like some type of error on them. That's pretty crazy though. If they suspect you, because here in the States, if we have it, they can ask you to do a breathalyzer. Of course, if they suspect that you're drunk, smell alcohol or something like that, they can make you take a breathalyzer. Not make you, they can ask you if you want to take a breathalyzer. And if you refuse, they then will take you to jail, into the police station, and then they have to have a judge give I don't know if it's called a warrant or some type of ruling to then take your blood, and they will forcefully take your blood from you. Little different than this, but it kind of makes sense.
Out a full needle and just jab it in you. They take you to the hospital and get it done professionally.
Okay. All right.
I think that makes perfect
I thought they were doing it like in the car.
sense. Because if you're doing something that's illegal while drunk or otherwise intoxicated, like you can tell when people are drunk. It just I don't know about you guys. I'm just talking out of my ass, but I think it just makes sense to me. We use week numbers and often refer to them, and that confuses many foreigners. Like, I completely understand why. Even I have to check my calendar to be able to follow those conversations correctly. Then we'll do this in week 33. Yes, when is that? Like, I know.
I have never heard of this before. I'm getting some serious information and culture shocks right now. Do you guys go by week numbers? I'm sure not everyone probably does, but that's really interesting.
52 is like end of year, but otherwise, fuck me. Nordic people love silence. Like, if there's no reason to talk, it's okay not to talk, even if you're in like social gatherings. And I think that's very true, actually. Like, I can be quiet with friends without it being awkward. I think it gets more awkward if people try to keep a conversation going, and it's just it's not what everyone is feeling. It's like, you can tell when
you're kind of like forced to talk to people at some type of a event or something, and you're there and you have to, mingle and talk to people. Sometimes I'm like on this vibe where I just don't want to talk. Unless it's someone really interesting.
Talking just to talk. Right? Does that make sense? I understand why it can seem like detached or cold if you're in your culture, you're used to like keeping the conversation going at all times. But it's just, we just don't view it that way here. Our everyday languages lack a lot of social pleasantries, which often makes us seem rude, even when we're not trying to be. Again, I think that's very true. Like, as I said, we don't really care that much for small talk, and if we think the conversation is pointless, we don't really engage in it. And I get why that can make us seem cold or rude. However, I think I've tried to explain it like this before. Like, the Nordic people as a whole are very respectful of other people's time and like personal space. To us, it's almost seen as more rude to take other people's time or to intrude in whatever the person you were talking to was doing before you started talking to them. Does that make sense? Not greeting acquaintances when passing them.
That's so true. I can use one example that just happened like one day ago. I was at the store. All my family was sick, still are. And me being the one that doesn't really get sick too often, had to go get all the grocery shopping. And I'm sitting there with my phone and I'm trying to I got all the items listed up and I'm looking for them. Some guy just walks by and makes a comment about my phone being orange because I have the new iPhone, the orange one. And just starts going into this huge spiel about iPhones while I'm standing there with a cart and trying to get items and get back home. And I'm like, I really don't want to do this right now, man. Trying to ignore him too. Yeah. Go back, looking at the products, just keeps talking straight at me. Doesn't keep walking the middle of the aisle. I'm like, bro.
The street is normal. I think this is both right and wrong at the same time on the street, talking to them. Does that make sense? Not greeting acquaintances when passing them on the street is normal. I think this is both right and wrong at the same time, because if you get eye contact, you say hi or you do a quick nod, but both people in that exchange probably feel a little bit awkward about it. However, if you see that the other person has not seen you yet, kind of tend to walk away a little quicker, make ourselves a little scarce. Nordic people rarely introduce their friends to each other when bumping into them on the street. Let's say you're with a friend and you're bumping into another friend on the street. If the friend group is not the same, we don't. We can tell the friend we're with who that person was when we have left, but we don't Julie Søren, John Julie. It's not. No, maybe it's just a generational thing, but I don't do it very often. Unless it really makes sense to me somehow. Making friends with Nordic people can be very tricky. Yes, Nordic people often have these very tight-knit friend groups that they've had since they were kids. Often the friendship spaces are already filled up, and then it can be really, really hard for an outsider to break into that friendship bubble. I think the best place to make new friends as an adult in the Nordics is to go out and do your hobbies with like-minded people, because those people are often ready to make new friendships within that friend space that is their hobbies. Nordic people don't sit next to strangers on the bus, and we also block the extra seat with our bags. Yeah, we do that. We do move the bag if the bus is full and somebody needs a seat.
Yeah.
But other than that, stranger danger. As we've already established, Nordic people don't like to talk to strangers much, but somehow we don't mind being naked together in a sauna. I don't really know what to say to that other than, yeah. It's just a body.
Really interesting.
Right? Many Nordic people will not think about holding doors open for others and may push past you silently in public transport or in the supermarket.
Everyone, let me know your guys' country and if opening doors for people is pretty common. Because here it's almost, you get a couple of people that don't do it. But for the most part, usually everyone opens doors for each other, especially the men, Men try and open the doors for the women when they go in. And if there's another guy coming, but if he's too far away, I'm like, you're shit out of luck. I'm not standing here. I'm really curious though, because I've kind of heard this, that opening doors and just politeness is a little bit different. And it's not necessarily a way, it's not that Europeans do it as being rude. It's a cultural difference. So I'm really curious. Let me know your country and if you guys hold open doors for each other.
Yeah, I think a lot of us don't really think about it in our everyday lives. It's common sense to us when someone pushes past us in a narrow space without saying anything, because that person needed to walk past. I don't think it's rude. It makes sense to me that our shoulders needed to brush together for that person to walk past. It's not like it's done on purpose, and if it is done on purpose, it's very obvious. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I don't see a reason to use my energy being offended over stuff like that. There's a lack of hospitality compared to other cultures. I think that's right as well. We don't just invite people into our homes. Our homes are just very private to us. I have friends who have never even been here. Very close friends as well. So I guess that the home is just very private. And if you get invited to a Nordic person's home, you're friends. You're that or you deliver food. Yeah. Also, if you do have an acquaintance over or friends even, You offer them drinks and maybe cake or snacks, but you don't really make food for them. Unless it's planned beforehand, you don't offer food. That leads me on to family time is often like a private matter, and visitors are not included in meals unless it's decided beforehand. Yeah, I think we don't really make a lot of extra food, so if you have a friend over and your family is making food, they kind of need to know if the friend is staying over for dinner or not in advance, so they can have a portion of food for them.
I feel like that's pretty common sense, though. Like my kids, when they have like a friend over, sometimes they'll ask at 5 p.m. when we eat at 6:30, and they'll say, "Can they stay over for dinner?" I'm like, I don't have enough food for them, so no. But if we have like friends coming over, it varies, I guess. Kind of the same, not too much different.
Why would I make food for you if I don't know if you're staying or not? Like if my kid was out playing with a friend,
party.
I would expect them home for dinner and not for the other family to make dinner for my kid. Like, it's not saying that it can't happen. Like, I just say that stuff like that often needs to be planned here. Nordic people avoid conflict like the plague. We won't complain about bad service. We just never return. Not saying that nobody complains and sends food back or stuff like that, but the general consensus here is that it's not worth the extra conversation. We eat the shitty food and then we go. I think the only time we really complain about food, it's when it's missing. Like, we won't complain if the meat is bad or the food is kind of cold, but if we're missing a condiment that we paid for, we'll politely go up to the bar and say, excuse me, could I please have the condiment I paid for? Pretty please. Please. Thank you. Nordic communication is very direct. Example, could you move? We can't see. Yes. Our communication style is very direct. There's not much like, excuse me, we can't see much. Could you please like move just a little? No. It's like, move, we can't see. Can you flip that? We can't see. Yeah. That's what we would say. And when we direct translate that into English, it just sounds even more rude. So yeah, I understand why it can be seen as rude. The Nordics don't use... Yeah,
translate it to English and someone's like, move. Can you move? That would come off a little weird if someone did that to me. It was like, just said move, but it makes sense. I love little cultural differences. And also, I gotta say, I really like Kelly's video here. She's got a really charismatic vibe, especially for... a Nordic person who is probably antisocial. Once you get them in front of a camera, though, it's a little bit different, right?
Titles or surnames much, even in formal settings. Yeah, we call like teachers, managers, and doctors by their first names. It's actually so weird to me as a Nordic person calling other people by their surnames. If people call me by my surname, I would be like, you talking to me? Like, I'm sorry, am I a tax form? And I don't know if this is just a strictly Danish thing, language-wise, but our enthusiasm is often not backed up by enthusiastic words. Example, if you have a meal that is one of the best meals you've had in a while, a Dane won't go like, wow, that was the best meal. A Dane would be more like, that meal was good. And all the other Danes around them would completely understand that they really like the food. Det var god mad.
If they just say it's
also,
good.
Also, the Nordics don't tip at restaurants.
Okay.
Because the waiter and waitresses are given a full salary. Even if they have an off day, they can still feed their families. Oh, it's just so frustrating when common sense hits you straight in the face. And that was all I had for you today. If you like content like this, you are free to subscribe because there will be more. I am the lady with the Nordic flags on her cheeks, so yeah.
She does
all
short
5
form
personalities
content?
live in here, rent-free.
All
Anyway,
right.
like, comment, give me your firstborn or whatever YouTubers say these days.
Great video. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I'm glad I found her. So who recommended this to me? Thomas. Thank you very much, Thomas. That was a good video. More stuff like that. I love just getting the perspective of real people talking. I know we check out some of the like highly produced videos sometimes, and they're great, but I really just love people talking and giving like personal experiences. It's one of my favorite things. So, all right, I'm getting out of here. Appreciate you guys watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.